All right, everybody, and welcome to the Gamma Quadrant. So tonight we have a special event for you. We will not be playing our typical spacefaring, adventure-seeking future game. We will be, in fact, playing a setting called War of the Dead. So each of the players have been given minimal information about the setting, but and they've also chosen characters from some of the pre-generated characters that are included with the setting. So in just a moment, I will switch us over to the players, and we will get into some of the detail of the campaign, of the setting / tonight's special event. So without any further ado, how are you all this evening? Actually, I don't think the stream can hear you. 1 second.
Yeah, he's got that, and apparently poked himself in the eye with it.
All right, and there we go. I think we're in.
Yes, sir.
Pretty
Very
great.
well, thank you.
Same.
No zombies around here.
They escaped.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get going. In the interest of time, there's quite a bit here to to figure out. So basically, congratulations, guys. I'm sure when you woke up this morning, you weren't exactly expecting to be going on a cruise. So let me just go ahead and not that one. There we go. So congratulations. Yeah, you guys are aboard the Pinnacle, which is the latest in luxury liner technology. You've all arrived at a ticket somehow, one way or another, and I'll let you guys elaborate on how it is that you wound up with a ticket. But you're all passengers on the Pinnacle, which is, as I mentioned, a luxury cruise liner. So why don't you guys go ahead and just to be, just for clarity for the watchers at home, all of our players have selected 2 characters. I've asked them to do that because, especially early on in this setting, it is very likely that they could die. So why don't you guys give us a quick overview of the characters you've selected? So JT, why don't you go ahead and start?
All right. Well, I have Michael Garner, and he's kind of a crotchety old man. But one time he was in charge of his local militia in Georgia, and he watched his friends and brothers in arms succumb to the infection. And now he's convinced that the government's responsible, and he wants to take the fight, basically, to the government's door. So he's trying to make his way to the citizen relocation zone in Colorado. So now the politicians have to deal with this. So that's him. My other character is Ian McKenzie. He grew up in North Carolina as a border fellow. Used to be a park ranger in the Smoky Mountains. But his wife got the infection the first few days of the outbreak, and basically he lost his soulmate after 42 years of marriage. So now he's pretty much just determining to kill as many creatures as he can, it looks like.
So I'm gonna actually retcon something right off the bat. I hate to do that, but the outbreak hasn't actually begun yet. So we're going to take place like before, the outbreak. And so as a result, you may lose your wife on this adventure. So be prepared for that.
Ryan is a sweet old man who just liked retirement.
Loves cruising. He's a cruise ship guy. All right. So
Mackenzie's still a conspiracy theorist.
yeah, no, absolutely. So Greg, you've selected your characters. Why don't you go ahead and tell us what characters you've selected?
My first character is Dr. Melissa Wilheim, who's obstetrician, and was on this cruise to go and join her husband in Europe, who's a heart surgeon attending a conference. The other is Tommy Vicarios, who was a 16-year-old sort of troublemaker who is a stowaway on this cruise, ran away from home, and not a great family life, ran away from home and stowed away on this ship to go where it goes and start a new life wherever.
So where it's going is the Bahamas, just so that you guys know. So
sounds exactly where a 16-year-old boy would want to go to start a new life.
Exactly. And T Prime, what characters did you select?
Well, my first character this evening is Carl Lee. He's a small-town mechanic. He may have had a career in NASCAR, had his legs not been crippled in a car accident that involved large quantities of alcohol. So I'm not sure if he was the passenger or the driver, but either way, there isn't much on the road that Carl can't repair, upgrade, or make into one heck of a ride. So he's on this cruise to, I guess, they do have alcohol is kind of ill-inclusive, so maybe that's his attraction to this. And my second character tonight is Detective Bernice Sawyer. She's a detective, worked on the homicide division of the Metropolitan Police Department, a 12-year veteran, and she's decided to, she had a little break with her life partner, Gina Grant, and decided, you know what, she needs to get away for a little time and think about things over, and has decided to take this cruise solo, and obviously that's how she arrived here.
Awesome. So you guys, I mean, I don't know if you've ever been on a cruise or not, but if you have, you get the check-in process and it's all hustle and bustle. And then when you get on board, it's like, okay, cool, we can relax, and you got to wait for your luggage and all that stuff. And so your luggage arrives at your room later in the day. But then ultimately, you guys all kind of make your way, all of your characters make your way to the grand ballroom. Because this is the maiden voyage of the Pinnacle, you've been at sea, so you guys got on board, the ship pulled away, you've been at sea most of the day, and you make your way to the grand ballroom because there is a big dinner celebration. So you guys, sometimes, for those of you that have been on a cruise, if you don't have a large party, they put you at a table with a bunch of other people you never met.
Oh, well, there's a way around that. You just go see the maitre d' on the first night before the ship pulls out the seating chart, and you can actually pick your seat, and that's the only time you can make a change. Look for a seat for two if you and a partner with you. That's the recommendation.
Sure. Yeah. So in this particular case, you didn't do that. Whether or not you were preoccupied or there was something going on. Yeah. No. So basically, you guys all wind up as guests at the same table. Okay. And so those characters that have a relationship wind up kind of sitting together. Those that don't, were just kind of put at this table because they were just looking for a place for everybody to sit. So you're in the main ballroom celebrating the maiden voyage of the Pinnacle cruise ship. Gaming tables of all sites are set up throughout the room, outlining a massive dance floor. Various forms of entertainment from jugglers to showgirls fill the empty spaces that remain. The room is packed. Several bars line the walls. People mill about, laughing and socializing on the 4 balconies that span the area overhead. Live music fills the hall as a singer performs a rendition of "Luck Be a Lady Tonight." The sound of silverware ringing against fine crystal glass comes through the speakers. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, but your attention, please, just for a moment. As you see a, silver-haired man step to the top of the balcony. He says, after several seconds, the noise begins to die down, and as he taps the crystal a few more times. Please, he continues with a smile, this will only take a moment. The ballroom grows quiet as all eyes turn towards him on the second floor balcony. He's a tall man with perfectly combed silver hair, blue eyes, and a strong jaw. Everyone immediately recognizes him as Mr. Farthington, the owner of the Pinnacle. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of myself, Captain Romero, and his crew, I welcome you to the maiden voyage of the Pinnacle. As he raises his glass and cheers fill the room. While the hundreds of men and women that serve aboard this vessel have but one goal, to make your dreams come true. I've never had but a single dream. A dream to create the most state-of-the-art pleasure ship, open to passengers of all financial backgrounds that would provide happiness and entertainment like that found nowhere else. And thanks to you, that dream has come true. He once again raises his glass. He says, to the Pinnacle, and more importantly, to all of you. And cheers erupt throughout the hall as the music once again starts up and the entertainment continues. So at this point, you guys kind of witnessed that. And I mean, is there a reaction from your characters after the the display from Mr. Farthington?
No. Unfortunately, no.
Tommy's stuffing
grumbling to
himself, and yeah, same with Dr. Wilhelm.
Okay, so yeah, so there's music and dancing, and people are talking, and you guys hear you hear at a table kind of close by the sound of a man, like, very loud and boisterous, and seemingly with a thick Southern accent. And he kind of, he seems to be going table to table almost. And it looks like, he should make it to your table in a minute or so.
Going from table to table doing what? Is he saying something?
Yeah, he seems to be. I mean, if you want to give me a notice roll, I'll tell you if you can kind of pick up the, the like what he's trying to say.
Sure.
Okay. He seems like he's kind of he's like introducing himself. Yeah. So yeah, he seems to be introducing himself. And you hear a bunch of people talking. So he begins to approach the table. So why don't let's see, JT, why don't you roll me a d6? Okay, so he's gonna approach Ian. So he walks up to Ian and he says, well, now that's a man that I can tell can appreciate a story about oil drilling. Do I have that right?
Well, I've never been much on the oil drilling. I'm a park ranger by trade, so I kind of like my nature a little untouched, if you know what I mean.
Well, I mean, I'm my name is Mr. Billy Haynes, from San Antone. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, sir. I'm in the oil business. Have you ever thought about, getting into the oil business? Because I think you might have the chops for it, if you know what I mean.
I'm a little old to be getting into a new business besides.
Oh, poppycock, there ain't one day past due for you. No, you sir are a spring chicken if I ever did see one.
Well, this chicken's getting a little long in the feather. That mountain they call the Smoky Mountains, it might be a little difficult to drill through, and That's where I currently.
I ain't never seen nothing I can't drill. Billy Haynes is well known for his drilling skills, but maybe, and just bear with me just a second here, right? Perhaps my other business venture might be something that interests you a bit more. I happen to be in the cattle farming business, and and I'm looking to take on some investors. I'm looking to expand a bit, get some new faces, some new blood into the mix, if you know what I mean. And I'm simply looking for a small investment, and I'm not sharing this with everybody, right? I mean, I'm picking out select folks from this here crowd that I think might be a good fit for that business. So this is a rare opportunity, and you should think it over. Think it over carefully, because I'll tell you, by tomorrow this opportunity gonna be gone. Somebody else gonna come by and snatch it up. Well, hey, it is a pleasure to speak with you. Who are all these folks you happen to be sitting here, and any of them might be interested in either the oil drilling or cattle business?
Tommy points at him and says, "This is my dad, and I can tell he's really interested in your offer."
Well, see, that's a boy after my own heart right there. Well, see, Dad, I'm not getting the family resemblance, but that's neither here nor there, right? But I am happy to come by, drop off some pamphlets, some reading materials, and you can get in touch with me when you're good and ready. But don't wait too long. Because like I said, this here is going to be gone before you even realize.
And with that, Carl Lee, who's chewing tobacco constantly, spits out some in a glass and looks back up at him.
So he looks and he goes, oh my goodness. Geez, that just about nicked me. I apologize for being in the way of your spittoon, sir.
Your shoes will do fine.
He says, well, I'm making my rounds, and you see him, and he begins kind of hitting his chest. Hey, Blood Wolf, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining us. He begins to hit his chest, right, and you see he kind of leans over a little bit. He's like, I'm making my rounds, and he falls over.
Doctor, need a doctor.
And so anybody who's got the knowledge medicine or healing skill can go ahead and make me a roll and see if you can recognize what is going on with Mr. Billy Haynes.
Dr. Melissa's going to, just jump up from her chair, just yelling out, "Everybody out of the way, I'm a doctor!" And then, dive on top of Billy, super, super dramatically. I have an 8 in investigation, but a 6 in medicine. Would the medicine probably still be good?
Yeah, it's got to be medicine. I mean, which is interesting. You're a doctor and you got a 6 in medicine. Anyway, so all right, cool. So yeah, I mean, this is almost textbook heart attack, right? You could size this guy up pretty quick and say he's probably had quite a bit of red meat in his life, and it's not looking so good for the arteries. So. Did you want to? Did you want? How did you want to react when he hits the floor?
I'll beat on his chest, "Damn it! Don't you die on me!"
All right. Okay. So go ahead and give me another medicine check, but due to the passion of the activity, why don't you go ahead and give yourself +2.
I love the way the medicine works in this world. If you've ever played FTL, one of the races, the Rockman race, repairing devices, just beats them with his fist until they're repaired. It's great. Still works.
Yeah, so you're successful, and he kind of comes to for a second, as some members of the ship's crew, the wait staff, make their way over to the table, and one of them is dressed in evening attire, a gentleman, and he says, "Ma'am, please, we have trained professionals. We can take over from here. Thank you.
I'm a trained professional.
Okay. I'm sure you are, ma'am, but we you know, for liability purposes, we have to take over. And Billy looks up and he says, "You're literally just hammering on his chest, right?" And he looks up at them as there's like, you know, 3 waiters and then this other guy who's in like a tuxedo, basically. And he's like, "Get her off of me!" as he could like just barely squeak out the words, right? And so ultimately what happens is that they kind of nudge you out of the way. They take him, they put him on a stretcher, and they kind of carry him off.
I try to brush it off like, yeah, bring him to the ER, scat! Don't waste time!
Yeah, and as they're carrying him away, his wife, who's pretty clearly a trophy wife, because this guy was, heavy set, and just obnoxious to the core. He just like sweat red meat, right? His wife, a blonde, thin, attractive, comes running over. "Oh, Billy!" And she runs over and, as they're carrying him out, she's like, "Oh no, whatever will I do if my Billy were to leave me?" And so they carry him off, and you see the captain who you were kind of directed to during the initial opening, make his way to your table. And he says, Please, everyone. The situation is under control, and our medical staff is the best, on the 7 seas, and they will take care of him very quickly. So please, no one worry. I'm sure he'll be fine. Please resume dinner." And the music picks back up, and the waiters kind of scamper off and stuff. And he makes his way to your table. And he kind of stops and he says, "I apologize. My name is Captain Romero. I am the ship's captain, and I apologize for the inconvenience and the interruption in your dinner. Is there anything that me or my staff can do to make your evening a bit more enjoyable?" And he kind of, without thinking, he kind of snaps his finger. He says, drinks, all drinks over here." And he kind of, and so the wait staff comes and they begin taking drink orders.
Michael would say, "By chance, how did you get this cruise to be so cheap? You subsidized by the government?"
Well, so I just drive the ship. I don't.
And run it.
I don't actually set the prices. Perhaps if you had a conversation with Mr. Farthington, he might clarify the pricing structure. But his goal, as he mentioned, was for the cruises to be available to all through. Through attractive pricing. So I'm glad that you found it reasonably priced. But unfortunately, I'm not the right person to ask about these things.
Well, Melissa is going to order a white wine spritzer, and Tommy is going to order a Long Island iced tea.
Okay.
Jack and Coke, and just a beer for Ian.
Okay, so your drinks come.
Guys, they don't card here?
No, So
Tommy picked exactly the right ship to stow away on. He's like basically like hit the jackpot. There's free food. There's free. The guy didn't even blink twice when he was like Long Island iced tea, and don't like skimp on the Long Island iced part.
He's clearly trying to like smooth over the situation, because. Basically somebody almost dropped dead, on the floor of their like big announcement. Like there are video cameras around, like filming this. Like this is like a big event, right? This is like their first main, dinner hosted on this ship with live passengers. And so he wanted it to be, as handled as quickly as possible. So so basically, he says, now that you have your drinks, I really must get back to running the ship. So please do not hesitate to let any member of my crew know what you need, and you let them know that it's on Captain Romero, that I will cover your tab for this evening. And again, I apologize for the inconvenience.
Apologies.
Well, that was
Carl then orders several more drinks, and what's that? I get some of that red meat over here.
Yeah, so
prime ribs and some lobster
I'll
tail.
have what he's having.
Yeah, I mean they bring you out a deluxe feast. I mean, basically everything on the menu is brought to your table, and you're sitting there, and you see the captain kind of wandering around, kind of walking from table to table, asking about how the food is and all that other stuff. And then the guy that you saw at first, when the man hit the floor, when Billy Haynes hit the floor, seems to be kind of always a couple of steps behind the captain, right? And so why don't you guys all give me notice rolls real quick, and I'll let you know if you see anything else.
You want one from each character?
Yeah, that's fine.
By the way, Tommy's got a thing where he should get an extra penny. A whole, ooh. We all notice everything.
Ian's looking confused at Tommy like, I'm not your daddy, right?
Tommy lights a cigarette.
Nice.
Okay.
It's a flaw.
So believe it or not, this is going to be taking place in, the late 90s, we'll say. So it's not unheard of for people to be smoking on cruise ships at this point, but it is kind of frowned upon, right? So as Tommy lights up his cigarette while others are eating, the looks you get are like, oh, I can't believe it. How could he? Oh.
I look around at the reactions I'm getting, and I'm just like, can you believe this Lewinsky business?
All right. So you see a guy, while you're eating, pretty much everybody sees this, but the guy in the tuxedo, another member of the crew approaches him, and he's physically distressed, all right? And he says something to the guy in the tuxedo, and the guy in the tuxedo begins to look around frantically.
Do we all see this?
Yeah, you all see it, right? So you see this, you see this guy, and he's wearing he's not a waiter, he's something else. So he's wearing like a ship's uniform, and he's got a single bar on each of his shoulders, and he's wearing a blue shirt, and like a baseball cap with the Pinnacle logo across the top, and he's wearing blue slacks and black shoes. So he, so the guy on the tuxedo kind of leans into his jacket like lapel, and he starts talking.
I watch what is it, Michael's reaction? Who's the government paranoid one? JT? I can't remember.
Michael, yeah.
It's Michael,
He's
yeah.
watching him look around, so he's looking for anything, looking for distress, basically.
Yeah, and you're totally getting it from this guy, and you're also getting it, so within like a couple of moments, a couple more guys with the blue shirts and the blue baseball caps and the blue slacks start to kind of huddle around this guy, and he's like, he's talking into his jacket. And so he seems to be mustering a group. And then, after a minute, when a couple of, so like 4 of these guys muster around him, he approaches your table and he says, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Let's spend it, baby. Get a piece of equipment.
Like what?
Like a police scanner that I could scan through the different radio frequency waves to listen in.
Would you keep it in your pocket?
Yeah, like a portable one, I guess.
Like basically like a walkie-talkie, like a 2-way radio?
Yeah. Like a programmable radio that you would use at a police station.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and drop the penny.
Okay, I will do that.
Okay. So who has the radio?
I would have it like I see him talking, I'm like, and I'll start listening in. Michael, the conspiracy guy that doesn't trust the government. That's why he has the scanner.
Sure. So does he have like an earpiece or something? Is he?
It'd be like a radio, like a big brick radio, kind of. I would imagine, like an old school kind of
Bearcat.
It'd be like a big walkie-talkie. Is what I'm imagining, but.
Okay. All right. So.
Just because I have it doesn't mean that I actually can intercept it.
Sorry about that. Sorry, I was testing something. I'm getting some feedback from the stream that you guys were too quiet. So I'm trying to turn you up a little bit. But can I go ahead and get a verification? So why don't you guys... sorry, JT, go ahead and say what you're going to say.
Yes.
There we go.
I was going to say, just because I have it doesn't mean that I could actually intercept the radio waves, but I just see Michael having a little scanner trying to listen in, like a police scanner, to scan the radio waves.
Okay.
Radio signals.
Sure. Okay. So why don't you go ahead and give me a notice roll? So when you see him talking into his lapel, and that kind of triggers you to browse the dial. Mm-hmm. So what you make out from the radio is something that kind of sounds like this. We've got a situation down here in the infirmary. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not trained for this. We need somebody down here right now. This is ridiculous. There are people attacking each other. I don't understand. And then the guy who's talking into his lapel basically says, "Barry, are you serious right now? We're in the middle of the formal dinner. You're going to cause a panic. Like, what the hell's going on down there? I need more details." And then Barry comes back and he says, "That guy, he's biting the doctor. It's ridiculous. I don't know what we can't subdue him." And then you hear,
detective. I heard there's somebody attacking someone. Can I help?
Well, so this is coming through on JT's scanner, right? And then the guy who's standing there is like, as this is going down, he's like, all units, we need a response party to the main dining hall. We're going to go down and investigate this. Barry, just hang tight. We'll be down there in just a moment. We've just got to make sure that the captain gets out of the dining hall before we head down. So we're gonna tie up Bravo and we're gonna head down to the infirmary. So Michael, do you share any of that information with the rest of the group?
Oh yeah, man. I don't know what that guy ate, but apparently he's going crazy down there in the infirmary. He's trying to bite the doctors, and I just gotta push my food away.
Okay.
You're muted if you're talking to us.
I totally am. All right, so that was on me. Anyway, the guy in the tuxedo walks over to the captain. He puts his arm around him, and he says something. The captain looks up at Farthington, who is still standing on the balcony talking, and he basically kind of gives him a hand signal. He kind of waves to him, and then he closes his fist like this, and he immediately leaves the dining area. The captain does. All right, they walk him to the door. Farthington, you see his reaction. His face, like, it's almost as if the blood just like sucks out of his face, right? He's there, he's like, yeah, so I'm so awesome, I own a ship, it's great, blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden he sees the clenched fist, and he just like, he's just shocked, right? And you see him kind of look to the people around him, and he just kind of puts up a finger, and he immediately walks out of the dining hall. And then the guy in the tuxedo gets the four ship like employees together, and is just basically talking to him. There's a bunch of hand movements and everything. And why don't you, JT, and you, let's see. So Michael, the detective, and Tommy all give me notice rolls. All right. So all right, you guys don't notice anything.
I started to feel it.
Yeah, so those four guys head out. The guy in the tuxedo comes over to your table, and he says, I am sorry to interrupt. Which of you spoke to that man who had the heart attack earlier today?
Well, he was trying to sell me an oil rig, I think. And some cows.
He's my dad.
I'm not your dad, kid.
He doesn't like me, so he doesn't want to admit it.
So I assume you'd be able to identify him if we were to if I were to show him to you, you'd be able to identify him. You got a good enough look at him to identify him?
You're asking if I would have got a good enough look at him to identify him?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I'd remember him.
I hate.
He was a little pushy, if you know what I mean.
I do. I hate to do this, and I hate to disrupt your meal, but we've got a group going. There's a bit of a disturbance, and we just want to make sure that the person who you saw earlier today is the person that that's down in the infirmary. Would you mind coming with me? And we're going to meet some of my associates down there. I'd like to just have you kind of look through the glass and identify the man that you saw earlier today.
I mean, it just happened. He just had a heart attack, but he didn't die. I don't understand. But yeah, I'll go. All right, Darlene, you stay here. I'll come back. What was it?
You sound like I don't even know. I don't know, but yes, the doctor is an acquired taste, I guess. Anyway, so he says any of you here at the table are welcome to come. I assure you it is perfectly safe. We're simply going to go down and take a quick look to just make sure that everything is okay down there. But I really need to speak with you guys, after this all settles. And I don't necessarily want to have to go try to track y'all down after the dinner wraps up. So if you guys wouldn't mind coming with me, again, I assure you it'll be safe. We'll just head down there and take a quick look.
All right. I think I need to know what's going on. My detective's radar is quite going off right now. I think this needs further investigation, and that's what I do. I'm a homicide detective.
Melissa's gonna change her voice. Can we bring our drinks?
I would prefer you left them here. We don't typically bring beverages to the infirmary. It's not exactly sanitary.
And Carl, with that, gets up and takes his big glass of alcohol and follows along.
All right. So he doesn't care so much. So he walks. So he says, "Please follow me." And he takes you to a service elevator. And he takes you to a service elevator, and you guys kind of ride down the service elevator, and it opens up to what is clearly not meant to be a guest area. Right, it's rough passageways, just metal, bare floors, and he says, "Please, this way." So so he takes as he's walking down the hallway, you see somebody kind of in the distance. So this area of the ship has these really long hallways, and there are various different rooms on either sides, but it basically runs the length of the ship, and this is how kind of you would presume staff move kind of up and down through the various service entrances, right? And you see what looks like a person, but they're pretty far down, and they're running, and it sounds like they're screaming. So go ahead and give me notice rolls, and I'll tell you exactly what you see at this distance. Okay, so
Hold on.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, so Ian and Detective Sawyer.
Police.
Yeah, Ian and Detective Sawyer, you guys clearly make out that this is the wife of the Texan from earlier, and she is running towards you at a full sprint. And she is, the closer she gets, the more apparent she, the more clear it is for you guys to notice. But she's at a full sprint. And as she gets a little bit closer, the guy who was in the tuxedo, says, ma'am, and she just blows right by him. But you guys notice that she's got a big chunk taken out of her left arm. And she's screaming, just incoherently, and she's running towards the service elevator.
That's not going to be sanitary.
No.
You don't have to worry about the drinks.
Yeah.
You got muted again.
Sorry, there's blood from this wound all the way down the hallway.
Wow.
And so the guy who is with you, he says, all right, head down this way. My guys are down there. I've got 4 guys down there. I'm sure it's fine. I'm going to go get her because I don't know what's going on with her. You guys head down there. I'll call them on the radio and I'll let them know that you're coming. But just head down this way. You can't miss it, right? It says infirmary on it. There's big glass windows. You'll be able to see right in.
Is this normal? Looks around.
Is this seasickness?
No. It's not normal. But I don't want the situation to get more out of control. So please just head down there to the rest of my group. Let me go get her because I don't want this to get further out of hand.
You mean more out of hand?
Yes, more out of hand, further out of hand. Yes, I do not want that. So please, just head down there, and I will be right back.
Okay.
It's got government efficiency written all over it.
Okay, so you does anybody object with following his request and going down the hallway the rest of the way?
Me personally, I do, but none of my characters would.
My character.
So we're going to be continuing on down the hallway towards where this woman came running from, correct?
Yes.
The detective says, obviously, there's been an attack. This is not probably a wise decision to bring these guests, sending them in that direction until we know what's going on. The best thing to do to lock down the area in case there's someone had been attacked, obviously. This person obviously is not reacting to a normal injury, but instead is fleeing from some kind of danger. As a detective, I've seen this all too often. And quite personally, I think we should lock down the area for safety until we find out what's going on, because this person, whoever's attacking somebody, which obviously she's been attacked, may get away. We have to be on our alert. And with that, was she able to, no, all right, anyway. So she feels that it's a little bit risky to send the group into a direction that obviously may pose a direct threat to the others.
Okay. And so as you explain all of that, you guys hear a scream down the hallway.
Same direction?
Yeah, same direction.
All right. I actually, as a detective, I'd like to run in that direction.
So it's a male voice, and you hear, oh no, God, no! And then you hear a door close. Right?
Not good.
And so, do you guys run to check it out?
May I ask a question first?
Sure.
And I can see how this could go either way. Looking at my mundane items, I actually am a detective. I'm sorry, my items as well. I'm a detective, and I do have a Glock 9mm.
Yep, you do have it.
And as a detective, we're always on duty. That is a policy. And even when private or off duty, so to speak.
So you are currently concealed carrying your pistol. You always carry it. It's
That's
part
a
of what
detective mandate. Yeah.
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 So you always carry your service pistol, but you are currently concealed carrying it, and you've made arrangements with the head of security to be able to carry your pistol on board. You provided your credentials and all that stuff, and they said that's fine, but please, you said please let us handle anything, and we'll let you know if we need anything.
Well, I'm stepping in to assume that this reaction means they need me. So with that, I'm more also concerned with our elder man, Ian. Looking at his condition and the fact that he is a bit of an elderly gentleman, and I'm thinking about we're running, and I'm not sure. Also, but the running is that I have Carl Lee here, and I see this man who's obviously has issues with his legs. He's lame, as the term is, and so I'm a little bit torn between wanting to go deal, but worrying about the safety of these people here who obviously are okay at the moment. And I look at Michael, the military-looking dude who's a little bit of a, don't call me Francis, but I do think that I'd like to say, listen, keep an eye on Carl and Ian. Carl actually, nobody needs to keep an eye on me. I can handle my own self. And
all right. So habitual critic, thanks for the host, appreciate it. Yes. How does Ian react to what seems to be now part of the group looking to make their way quickly down the hallway? It's not too much farther. You'd presume it's maybe about 100 feet, maybe 120 feet from where you are, where you heard the scream.
Okay.
If Ian would stick with the group, and he would be reluctant because he's old and not much of a fighter. Michael would be kind of up for whatever the group does, so charging in or running away, either way.
So basically, Ian would take, basically keep up the rear, but just kind of follow along. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
All right, fantastic. So, anybody else have any objections with going down that way? Okay, cool. So you guys make your way, and you see a door, and it's marked infirmary, so it's one of those kind of traditional ship doors, in that it's got it's a watertight hatch is basically what it is. So it's got a big lever, and you pull the lever up to open it. Okay, there's a little drawing on it of a red arrow that kind of points over, which tells you how to open the door. It's not all the way closed, right? Like the lever is not all the way. It's called dogged, but it's not all the way closed. It's open partially, the door itself isn't flush with the floor. It's got a raised lip on it. And that way, it helps to keep the water out, right? So that it's not, the water's not flowing underneath it. But you hear, strange sounds from within. So why don't you go ahead and give me notice rolls and see who can make out what the sounds are from inside.
Tommy's played video games like this before.
Tommy taunted the door.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, the
So-
notice is the same roll.
Yeah, no, it's all right.
Bring it, door. What you got, huh?
God.
It's okay.
You're muted again.
Yeah, I think so.
Sorry, you hear the sounds of like water being thrown around or something like that. You hear like splatters and like crunching sounds and all these kind of really weird sounds coming in from inside the door.
This reminds me of that time I busted up that beaver dam.
Is that a euphemism?
I wonder. I'm trying to read the angle on that.
It's some water and some crunching. I mean, I don't know why there'd be beavers in the infirmary. That sounds weird. I don't know.
Okay, so I mean, what do you guys want to do?
Oh.
Somebody want to open the door?
Neither my characters would want to do that.
Well, my detective would probably want to know what's going on, but she would first turn to look back and see that. Okay, stand back, guys. I guess Michael, he looks like he's a big strapper of a guy, and she says, "Listen, I'm gonna open the door and check this out, but just in case something comes along, we don't know what's behind this. Just be ready." And
I was leader of my local militia down there in Georgia. I know what to do.
can we?
You got a spare one of them? And he points towards your pistol. Assuming you've pulled your pistol out. If not, don't worry about it.
I haven't yet.
Okay, then never mind. I didn't say that.
That's okay.
Sorry.
And GM, that's another question. I don't think Carl brought the wrenches to dinner. I'm sure, right?
Carl did not bring the wrenches to dinner.
Okay, just checking.
I mean, Michael would have tried to sneak in his sawed-off shotgun and Glock, but I'm assuming that wouldn't happen. But anyway.
Nope, no sawed-off shotgun at dinner.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, just checking.
So we're pretty much, as far as for the group, we are not well armed. We didn't bring
Nope.
anything. But Carl brought his drink.
Might be
Carl's got his drink, and he seems a little pissed because he's starting to run low.
So,
Ian,
but-
it's got his cane.
so
So-
if there's anybody who wants to kind of have a look around and see if there's anything that might be usable as an improvised weapon, you could do that.
Fire extinguisher or something like that.
Oh, good call.
Is there any other rooms nearby?
Michael
Uh,
would definitely do that. Ian has his cane he'd use.
Okay, so go ahead and give me an investigation check then.
You got it, buddy.
Okay, so Detective Sawyer, you see a fire station, kind of close, probably about 10 feet down the hallway, and there appears to be an axe in the fire station, and then there's a hose that's coiled up, and there's a the connection that you would use if you needed to, but there's an axe there. And so that's what you see.
She says, "Michael, grab that axe. People
All
are
right.
being attacked. We better arm ourselves."
Not that axe.
Axe.
You sure? Michael may have misheard you.
Yes.
Come over here, grab this axe. I'd grab that axe. The order's up to you.
It's my accent.
It's your accent.
It is something. I guess so. I don't know. I'm sure she does. She does keep in shape. So Detective Sawyer, but she's like, I don't swing that way.
All right. He grabs the axe.
With that, she then reaches in and pulls out her her hidden Glock. checks it, makes sure that it's ready.
If you can show you how to use that thing, I can.
She goes, 12 years of using this, it's fine. And she looks back and sees that, Michael G is ready.
So I've added the axe to the party sheet, so you can go ahead and grab the axe from the party sheet. Okay, so you guys ready to open the door?
Ready.
Yes.
All right, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and send us over to the Fantasy Grounds table. Hold on. Bear with me.
I have a feeling.
There we go. So let's see. Let me just go ahead and get rid of that real quick because we don't have that other player. So I'm going to share something with you guys. Okay. Let me just expand that a bit. Okay. As you open the door, the scene that confronts you makes your blood run cold and your stomach feel like it's trying to escape through your throat. Blood covers the walls in dark, sticky smears and pools on the floor in gelatinous puddles. 4 bodies are scattered around the room, all of them torn open. One, a male, has his throat ripped out. Another, a female, has a huge bite in her upper leg that caused her to bleed out. The final 2 have flesh ripped out of their necks as though by a wild animal. The furthest body from the door is still twitching as another figure hunches over it, devouring flesh from the shoulder. It looks up at you with near feral eyes, and the face that confronts you is your own Mr. Hayes, his lips peeled back to reveal blood-caked teeth. His mouth opens and a low moan that grows slowly in volume fills the room as he rises and slowly lurches towards you. So we're going to have a battle. Yay.
Now, Billy, let's talk numbers. The interest rate over the length of the amount of time you're talking.
Okay, so here we go. So let me... Hold on.
Wow, the only fighting thing I have is a D4 in fighting. Oh, you don't have anything.
So let me go ahead and put your characters on the map here. You guys can arrange them. Oh, let me share this. Okay, so here's our super fancy map, okay?
All right.
All right. Let me go ahead and reveal there Mr. Hayes.
I like how the infirmary is.
There he is.
in my copy.
It's Carl Lee. Here's the detective. Here's Ian McKenzie. Here's Michael. Put Michael up here. And then Dr. Wilhelm. Okay, let's go ahead and swap Carl and... so that's kind of how I saw it. So without him there, so he was over there.
Yeah.
So you got the detective and Michael on kind of the outside of the door. So if there isn't anything anybody wants to do, I'm going to go ahead and deal the initiative. All right, Tommy gets a Joker. Yay, Tommy. All right, everybody gets a Benny, so because we're playing with Joker's Wild, so that is super awesome for you guys. Here, let me go ahead and do that. Make this a little bit better to see.
Remind me what the guts skill does.
Yeah, I have that too.
Throw guts at people?
No, that's not what it is. So the
When I'm a
gut.
zombie, I mean, you know.
So guts is is basically to maintain your resolve, right, in adverse conditions. Okay, so guts would help you to maintain your resolve.
When we were getting our stomach upset, we wouldn't throw up as quick.
Right. All right, so Tommy, you're up first. What do you want to do as Mr. Hayes peers at you or peers at the group at the entry to the room?
Right, I'm assuming that I'm kind of out of his sight, and I'm going to use the opportunity to try to stealth here.
Okay, where did you want to stealth to?
Good question, actually. His pace is 6. I could be able to go behind this table here, just trying to keep out of sight. Just sort of stealthily.
Okay, go ahead and give me a stealth roll.
Position for something later. How about that? Yes. Yes.
All right, so you succeed. You get there, and he does not notice you making your way into the room and behind the table.
Okay. And that's all I'm going to do at this point. Okay, Melissa is good question, actually. I think Melissa's going to sort of stay where she is, because she's not much good in combat. I think she's going to pass her turn right now.
Ian would also kind of delay his turn for basically, if anyone, he will protect the group with his cane. He's not going to run into combat with the cane, especially since there's 2 people that are got weapons. So he's going to delay the turn.
Give me 30 seconds here, gang.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, what was Michael doing?
Michael will again delay the turn until after, basically just after the detective goes. But he's going to wait for her to go since she's the one opening the door and has the gun. But as soon as she goes, that's when he will activate, if that's okay.
Okay. All right. So Detective Sawyer.
Hello? Okay.
Yeah, Detective Sawyer, you are up.
Yeah, sure. Well, seeing that the man was feasting on this woman, she's going to have to make that determination that he has obviously murdered these 4 people, these bodies, and yeah, so she's got her gun, draws and shoots, and preferably wants to drop him 1 shot.
Okay, so
Yes.
You have never encountered a zombie?
I know, I'm not meting that.
So just go ahead and target and shoot.
Okay.
You're going to want to put yourself in the room.
Oh, yes, sorry. So moves in and kind of goes just in front of the boy, again, in her, like, police type, defending. Yeah, okay. And makes...
So the boy is hidden behind the table.
Got it. Okay, so she moves up just to side of the table, but not too much further. Her instinct tells her to, just quickly glance the room, but obviously sensing she's kept her eye on this fiend of a man. Now, you need me to roll a shoot thing?
Yeah, I need you to target and take your shot if that's what you want to do.
Yes, sir. Let me get that set up. Target. Where is he? What's his name? This, because I don't see him in the tracker. I'll have to target him on the map.
He is Mr. Haynes.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me...
I've got him. Target's Mr. Haynes. I got him. And hold on. Target. Let's shoot.
All right. That is a hit, but you want to roll it by rolling the weapon.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So we'll go. Yeah, we'll go ahead and accept that because that would have been a hit.
And then I'll roll the damage.
Yep. Go ahead and roll the damage.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the creature is shaken. And so kind of, why don't you tell me, how that plays out from your perspective? Like, where do you hit him? Like, what happens? It isn't a wound, so just, he just kind of pauses a second.
I hit him square. He's not that far away. I mean, we're only talking a few feet, and I hit him square. This would have brought down a Glock 9mm, would have staggered him at least a little bit for that caliber weapon. And he seemed to just full inch a little bit, but it seemed to actually make him a little more as irritated, and did not really have an effect on it would as a normal human. And this kind of makes her suspicious, but not in the detective way, but like concerned and almost unbelievable.
All right. Yeah, so you see it be like you hit him in the chest, and like a normal man would have fallen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he just kind of staggers back a second, and then he just leans back forward and
Yeah.
continues to approach. So go ahead and pass your turn if you would.
Can I move any bit more, just a little bit over?
Yeah, you can move.
Okay.
You can move.
I'm going to move, maybe trying to get a little more distance away, because this creature obviously did not go down, so it's not going to be easy. I'm going to move to that corner there and end my turn. And combat tracker's
All right.
buried. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You can move my turn for me, CT.
All right, Carl is up. What is Carl doing?
Okay, Carl Lee. All right. Can you help me with? Hey,
Can,
Carly. Carl,
is it,
here's the gunshot. Sorry.
I was
Here's the
going to
gunshot.
say, is it Michael's turn, since Michael delayed his turn until after the...
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Oh.
Go ahead, Michael.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead, Michael.
He's just going to step out and say, I can't believe you missed, and run forward 6 spaces. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 6 spaces. And take a swing at him.
All right.
All right, let's see. Michael and the combat.
So under the combat. Oh,
yep,
there you go.
yep. I just took a bit to...
Oh, there you go. Hit with a raise. Good solid shot with the axe.
All right.
Oh man. So your axe lands true. It kind of hits him right in the head. And he kind of falls down. But go ahead and describe it for me. I mean, he rushes in there, raises the axe over his head, and what happens?
Yeah, so he's like, I can't believe you missed, and he just runs in there and just hacks down, and it just goes through the collarbone area.
Hang on,
Just
Jim. I think you did all that damage to me. Sort of. Detective is looking pretty sad right now.
Oops.
This is what happens when people are paranoid. They start seeing enemies everywhere.
Yeah.
I targeted, but then I still drugged the dice over instead of just double-clicking the dice,
Mhm.
and I must have thrown it on your character.
All right, yeah, you're good. I went ahead and cleaned it up for you. So,
you.
I'm assuming I still would have hit, though, with an 11, and 13 would have done.
oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, you're right, I did. I hit Detective.
Good job.
I think I better watch this one. I'm part of a government organization. He's got a big conspiracy going.
I heard the CIA does experiments. I wonder if that's how they got this thing so cheap. I bet you it's LSD and that PCP I heard about.
So
I heard that stuff's pretty good.
Doc.
So yeah, so he goes down, and as you're kind of sitting there, you're seeing this scene. Is there anything anybody else wants to do now that it's kind of quiet down?
Yes.
What did you guys want to do?
Look.
Dr. Melissa wants to run up to the body and just check it out, and just see if there's anything specifically with it. What could have caused this, or if there's anything obviously just nasty wrong with this body.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a medicine check.
I'll take it.
Okay. Yeah. So you see the first thing that kind of jumps out to you is that this thing should never have been alive. The blood is already clotted, right? And clearly it wasn't circulating, so you could see from where the axe impact was, the blood that flew out of it was clotted, so now there are these little mounds of blood versus splatter. The other thing you notice is that The other two on the other side of the room that are so there are three others. The woman with the bite out of her leg, the man with the bite out of his neck, and the other man with this zombie was chewing on, or this creature was chewing on. Don't look that way. They look recently deceased.
I say to the others, this guy shouldn't have been moving around, but he's not moving around now, so it's okay. Do you think there's any drinks left? Do you think the bar? I bring out my cell phone. Do you think the bar is still open?
Yeah.
I just look at her with blood all coming off the axe, going, probably.
Carl Lee hands
I
her.
a Bloody Mary.
Carl Lee looks in his mug, goes, "You want some?"
Yes, I love this.
So Detective Tommy, the doctor, and Michael.
Detective Tommy or Tommy?
No, so the detective Tommy, Melissa, the doctor, and Michael all give me notice rolls, please. So the only ones that aren't getting notice rolls this time are Carly and Ian.
Yeah, I wanted to notice those bodies.
Hey, Melissa Wilhelm is black. She actually might look. The only other thing I can think of really is Indian.
I don't know.
Well, I think the bodies that were behind, my first instinct was trying to see if they need any aid, especially the one who was bitten in the leg. Although she did bleed out, as you say. You mentioned there was one that was twitching.
That was Mr. Haynes.
Okay, sorry.
Mr. H.
That because I would have thought that person. Anyway, that answers that. I start looking at the bodies, the carnage. And do we also see any objects in this room? That tables?
You do. So I'm just gonna hold on. I'm just placing. Yeah, you see some items. So you see first aid supplies. Let's see. Hold on. You see no guns.
No guns in the infirmary? What kind of infirmary is
No
it?
guns.
I think I stuck my shotgun on, but it's in my room.
I'd like to give the medical kit to the doctor and say this might be useful if we find that woman.
Ooh, I have an idea. I have knowledge narcotics. There are pills around here that we could use.
Yep.
Or
so go ahead and give me an investigate. Go ahead and give me an investigate check. Yep, definitely find some pills. So why don't you go ahead and write opioids on your character sheet?
Oh my god, best cruise ever!
And the quantity of opioids you find are 60.
To mix with the alcohol. I heard it's it's fine.
I heard you'll be totally fine.
And then for the doctor, go ahead and write first aid kit. And then let me see. So and then I'm gonna drop in the party sheet a survival knife, but it's actually a scalpel. So go ahead and whoever wants the scalpel, go ahead and take that.
I'm a stealthy dagger guy, but I got a 4 in stealth and a 4 in fighting. So if
I have
other
a fire
people
axe.
have the better combat stats, they might want to take it first, but Tommy will take it if nobody else will.
Carl's looking for something heavy.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a fire axe and a walking cane.
Tommy will take the thing. Oh, I have a baseball bat. Never mind. I didn't even realize.
Not with you.
Not with me. Okay. Well, now I have a survival knife with me.
Yeah, which is actually a scalpel.
Oh, so, yeah. Scalp.
Okay, so let's see. Notice. So you see the remaining three that were that were previously dead begin to move.
What the?
Uh-oh.
So we knew they were dead. Like they checked the doctor.
You guys didn't actually check them. You just kind of. I mean, you saw the scene. There's no way that they could have or should have been alive.
Okay, so
But,
that's sort of. Gotcha.
Okay, so they begin to move. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and redeal the initiative here. So Mr. Haynes is dead. Okay, so Mr. Haynes is gone.
What does this mean for the oil company?
All right, so Carl Lee is up.
Okay, Carl Lee. He doesn't really see anything, right? So let me, from where he is. Yeah, no. He's still in the hallway. So
He's been chatting with Ian this whole time.
yeah. Okay, so he's gonna head in to obviously join the group at the door, and he sees these people who are all messed up and bloody. I guess starting to move.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So they seem to be kind of reanimating, right?
Holy crap! What's going on? And he literally drops his mug. And I need to ask a question. What does lame mean? I didn't look at the stats.
It means to make bad jokes.
No, it means that you have a reduction in speed.
I'm not going to reply to that.
You have a reduction in speed.
Okay, so like, okay. So he drops his mugs. Oh man, what is going on in here? And he doesn't have any weapons in hand.
Does he have the guts skill?
No, I'm looking at. He's got driving, fighting, no disrepair. He's shooting and stealth. That's it for him.
Okay, so go ahead and give me a vigor check, real quick.
Oh sure.
I have an idea. Can we use the gun and then, like, at the end of the turn, hand it off to the next person in line? We'll all go like next to each other, like in terms of turn.
Okay.
At the start of the turn, we'll use some movement speed to arrange ourselves.
All right. So Carl, you managed to choke back, what seemed to be definitive vomiting, and you managed to kind of steel your resolve. You see what looks like a metal tube that's used for storing insulin. So there are a bunch of insulin bottles in it, and they're kind of stacked up. The tube has a cut down the side where you basically drop the bottles in, and then they can be dispensed from the bottom. But it you think that you could use it as an improvised like club of some kind if you were interested in doing that. Is that something you're interested in? Hello? Do you guys not hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear him. Is T-Prom, are you out?
Yeah, it sounds like it. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and drop that club in the... it's going to show up as a billy club / baton. I'm going to drop that in the party sheet. Okay, so we'll come back to Carl. Actually, you know what? While I'm here, I'll just go ahead and drag that to Carl, because I presume he's going to want to use it. So let me go ahead and give that to him. Here we go. Okay, cool. Okay, so we'll go ahead and come back to Carl. So while he's sorting that out. So Michael is up next. So what is
Can you hear me
Michael?
now?
Yeah, sorry.
Yes.
Okay,
Alright,
so
yeah, no, I
cool.
switched over to a different mic.
All right,
sorry about that.
so I just dropped a billy club / baton in your character sheet because as you enter the room, you notice a like a metal tube that seems to be full of insulin bottles, and you think you can grab it off the wall and use it as a as a club or a baton.
Sure.
So I've gone ahead and given that to you. So I'm going to go ahead and equip it for you as well, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, he definitely wants his. It's a bit. What is it again?
It's under. It says billy club /
Billy
baton.
Please, load that up on me.
It's there. So Carl has it. So
Okay. So from where he is, I guess he can. He's not able to move too fast, being he's lame. So you think he could reach this character here?
so if you stick to the squares, that's only 3 squares. So yeah, absolutely, you can make it there.
And okay, so I'm gonna try and swing at this monstery looking creature, and let me just try to get his name so I can target him properly. It's really small on the
So
map,
that's number
why.
3. So that's
Okay,
that's,
thank you. Got it.
Can you?
Yeah, so it's listed as living dead number 3.
Okay. Looks like he's targeted it.
Yep, it looks
All
good.
right. Billy clubs are coming.
That was just the damage. So let me undo that.
Oh.
You have to.
Yep.
Hang on a second. Hang on. Oh. Okay. Oh. Well, you got to hit with a raise. So go ahead and click the plus raise next to the biohazard symbol in the lower left, because you did get a raise, and then go ahead and re-roll your damage, please.
I think it says raise. I clicked the plus once. Okay.
Okay. Oh yeah. No, you completely annihilated him. Okay, so this guy is incapacitated. How does it look? I mean, you grab this pipe off the wall, go running in. So go ahead and describe it for us.
Yeah, I swing, and I've got years of turning wrenches. I've got some pretty good muscles and a good grip. You got to have a good grip on a wrench, So I swing and I hit him upside the head, and it literally cracks his head to the side and like just almost breaking it off. But and that literally just caves in his skull, and he just collapses right there.
Yeah, so I can kind of picture this being the guy who already had the bite taken out of his neck, and when you hit him, like just the pressure of the impact, and so the head is kind of flopping to the side, with what's left of the of the head. So he definitely goes down. So cool, excellent job. So I'll go ahead and remove him, and I'll just leave that little tasty blood spot there for you.
Yeah.
So if that's it, go ahead and pass your turn.
That is, I ended it. Thank you, sir.
All right, Michael's going to approach this guy and say, it's not your fault the government chose you to be their experiment, as he takes a swing with his axe to smash the zombie. Let's see.
All right.
Bam, and axe.
That is a hit. He has very low parry. It's a shambling corpse. It's not wearing any armor or anything. But you can't. You seem to like cleave off. Like you hit him in the shoulder, and it cleaves off a piece of flesh, and it just falls off. And it looks at it, and it looks back at you and goes, "Rah!"
Ugh.
Yeah.
Can I take some step backs now?
No. I mean,
I'm engaged now, right? So
yep. Yeah. It would lash out at you if you tried to step back.
For now.
So you're just kind of fending him off.
Yep.
Okay, so go ahead and pass to Tommy if you would.
Sir.
All right, Tommy, you're up.
All right, so what I'd like to do is run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, I guess 6 here, and like flip this bed over to be like cover between me and the other zombie, and sort of like sit down behind it to give it, to sort of keep it in place, and use that as cover, try to hide behind the upturned bed.
Okay, so you're going to push the bed towards the creature and then hide behind it?
Like on its side, so it's
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. Yep. Okay.
And I'll sort of like motion to, I guess it would be Melissa, to just slide into the other side, because he's just sort of trying to be heroic.
Okay, so he's trying to shield the creatures from Melissa.
Well, he's trying to,
And himself.
he wants
Himself
people
first.
He wants people to think that he's
Okay.
being heroic and like
Understood.
shielding his friends.
Gotcha. Anything else Tommy's doing?
Well, he ran across without stealthing, so I think it'll be fine from there. But he's gonna keep his scalpel at the ready.
All right.
Melissa's going to run behind, and she's gonna try to, keep her head down and stealthily make her way over there. She doesn't have stealth, but she's gonna give it the old college try. An unskilled
All right.
roll, I guess it would be, right?
Yep.
Now, I have a few bennies, and I'm going to start making use of these.
Oh, I should have re-rolled damage.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it.
I can just, like, use bennies arbitrarily, right?
As much as you want.
You can.
All right, one more
Bennies
time.
Can't be run for damage.
All right, you are successful.
Yes!
So she makes her way there stealthily. So there you go. So this is, we're using the deluxe rules for this one. So no re-rolling damage dice with bennies. All right.
Okay.
All right, Detective Sawyer.
Detective Sawyer, she's got a clean shot right down there on the guy at the bottom. But she's actually going to take a shot at the one that's near Michael and see if she can hit him. Do you know his number? Because I can't see it on the map. It's very tiny.
He's number 2.
Number 2. Okay, thank you. Living Dead 2. What? I'll try this.
There you go. You got him
Dead General
targeted.
2. Okay, yeah, it says targeted General 2 for Detective Bernice in the chapter. Okay, let me get that combat tapped out. Let me roll the hit.
Yep, roll that D6 on the left there.
No, I did get it.
That's a hit.
Though.
Yep, no, that's perfect. Perfect. You see how it displays? It says shooting, Glock 9mm, blah, 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 right? So that's definitely a hit. So go ahead and roll your damage.
Thank you, sir. We're going to try and hope for that. And not much there.
Oof, he's unharmed, so it's a grazing shot.
Yeah. With that, she is going to try and move over to the table here. And ending her turn.
All right, so number 2 is going to target Michael.
All right, Michael.
And let's see, what is he going to do? He is going to, he's going to do something. He is absolutely going to do something. He is going to try to bite Michael. So here we go, Michael.
God,
Ready?
so rude.
Here it comes. Oh, and it's a miss. So he maneuvers his head around, and he's not too coordinated. You can tell he's just kind of like, rah, and he maneuvers his head around, and he's just, but he is unsuccessful. And then number 1 is going to approach. Let's see. So number 1 has a pace of 4. So 1, 2. He's going to go after Carl. 3. He's going to make his way there, and he's going to try to attack Carl.
Oh boy.
Carl.
Poor Carl. Daryl and Carl.
Yeah. So he's going to try to bite Carl. So here we go, Carl. Oh, it's a miss. Again, he kind of drags himself over there, and he tries to take a bite at you, and he is unsuccessful. So that's going to be them. So Ian is up. Ian is holding it down outside.
1, 2, 3, 4.
He fell asleep. Takes a nap.
Yeah, right.
You know those old
1,
people.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and what is
Yes.
going on? And so let's bring up his sheet for his combat and his walking stick. Let's see, is he targeting? No, he is not. Nah, he's not really good with his walking stick, but
Good enough.
good enough.
And I want you guys to take notice of him. He got a ganging up bonus because he was standing
saw
next to Carl, right? So it'll
Sure.
automatically calculate that if you're standing next to an ally.
Brothers got to stick together.
Yeah.
But it is just a walking stick, so
Yeah, so he does. He hits him with it, but it seems to not really have an effect. I imagine him hitting him like right in the middle of the chest, you know, and he kind of, it's a solid thud, right? But doesn't seem to do enough damage to hurt the creature.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that. Ganging up.
All right, Tommy at the top of initiative order. Tommy is up. What is Tommy doing?
Yeah.
Brave Sir Tommy.
Bravely ran away.
When zombies reared their ugly head, he clearly flipped a bed and fled.
Yeah.
well done, sir. Well done.
Or when danger reared its ugly head, he bravely hid behind a bed. Yeah. But he's going to try to. Now, he also has some bennies, so he's going to use his nurse scalpel and nail it. Hit with a
That's a
raise.
hit with a raise.
Yes. So,
Let's search.
just surgical again. He's sort of distracted by his battle with Carl. And wait, okay.
No, he's fine. He's dead.
Okay, cool. He's fine. He's dead.
No, you're fine. He's dead.
Okay.
All right, that's the scenario.
So he's got his back turned to me, and I take the scalpel and just hit it, right in the back of the head, and it sort of drives up towards his brain, and it just sort of, stops the movement. And I sort of, wriggle it around a little bit for good measure, and he slumps down.
All right. So we only got one left now. Michael, you're up.
Yep, just swinging again with that axe.
Dad axe.
That works with a raise.
Ooh.
Dang.
All right, describe it for me.
So basically, he's gonna kind of step to the side there and just slam the axe with the backside, like bludgeoning it into the bed that was flipped over. So his head pops.
All right, so you managed to put the last zombie down. And once again, the infirmary goes quiet. So you hear a crackling over the radio. Michael, your radio that you had tuned in earlier crackles, and you hear we've got a problem up here on deck 6. The wife of that man, the one from the infirmary, she's locked herself in her room. We're hearing strange sounds up here. We need help right away.
I mean, if she's locked herself in her room, that's a good thing, right? Let's like wedge a broom. No, wait, she was bitten.
Yeah,
No,
she had a big chunk out of her arm. She's going to become a threat, just like these three on the floor.
Well, so no, we don't know that these are zombies. Like, we're just on a cruise. We're like, what is going on?
Yes.
Well,
And I look to the doctor.
Well, like, I would say that it looks pretty infectious. So, if she was bitten like this guy was, now, I'm not a doctor. No, wait, yes, I am. Well, we should probably be careful because she might have some issues too. Unless it only are the people that are on the floor. Are they all men?
No. So there was a nurse.
Right, no, it only affects men, so it's totally fine. Why don't I take the lead? No.
So you hear that kind of come over the radio, and then there's a sound coming down the hallway. So the door is still open, right? And you hear like a sound as if somebody is running down the hallway towards the infirmary.
And as the sound is going, I'm like, and another thing, why did you guys just like immediately attack? Like even though we could have gotten away like super easy. Do you guys just immediately go to kill anything that like?
I got a Second Amendment right to defend my life and those that I feel that are endangered.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So I'm assuming that was Michael. So there you go, Michael. And there's another one for Dr. Melissa because, well, yeah.
This is why it should be a gun-free zone.
Oh my goodness. That's exactly what we need. So like inter-party conflict.
My Benny's just disappeared. What the fuck?
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to the doctor. Anyway, so
they were pills.
Yeah, right. Okay, so you guys hear, again, there's a sound kind of approaching the door. So what do you guys want to do? Clearly, it sounds like somebody is running towards the door.
I'd like to, well, since I'm kind of close to the door as the detective, can I get a sense of how close this noise running is? This person close, or and then I'm gonna come up to the door because it's only a step or two there, and peek out.
With a tiny bit of battle success, Tommy, as any 16-year-old would, immediately assumes like he's a prodigy. So he does like some cool. You know how like some people move away and they do like those unnecessary like barrel rolls or whatever. That's what he does, like behind the table, like around like that, like trying his best to look cool. But the guy's 16.
Tactical.
He's still awkward. He's still growing. We all were. Like it's a tough time for him. But like
he's looking for acne medication.
Is there? He might be keeping an eye out. I'm gonna be honest for you. Like, what's it called? Is there any what's that? It starts with a P. Proactive. Is there any proactive around? Was it around in the 90s?
Yeah,
make a note
proactive. Prozac. All right, so Bernice, Detective Sawyer.
Actually, there's any locked drawers behind this table.
I think we're on mute again.
No. I hear you. So.
Oh, okay. Right.
So you see. So you're gonna peek around the corner. You said.
Yeah, so I want to peek my head out to the door. Okay,
so you see a man dressed in a ship's uniform. He's approaching. He's got 3 bars on each shoulder, and he comes to the door and he says he draws his pistol because he sees you carrying your pistol still. And he says, "Ma'am, I'm gonna need you to put the gun down right now."
I'm Detective Sawyer from the police department.
That's all fine and dandy, Detective, but we've got to reach an agreement here for a second. I need you to put that down so I can take a look and see what's going on in there.
Shoot him!
He goes, well, since you're armed, I think we need your help in here. Come on in.
He says, my name is Jason Kirkman. I am the head of security for the Pinnacle. I'm coming in. Please stand back from the door. And he kind of makes his way into the room. And as he walks into the room, he takes one look at the carnage that's everywhere. And he just immediately vomits on the floor. Right? He's like, ugh! Oh, for the love of God, what the hell happened in here?
It was self-defense.
Jeez,
creature in the corner, and we point.
what the hell are those things? I mean, that thing's head is just—it's not even on.
These are government CIA experiments, if I had to guess.
He's like, so he gets on the radio and he says, "Yeah, this is Kirkman. I need a cleanup crew to the infirmary ASAP."
Is he still holding his gun?
He is.
Okay, I was gonna say, how do I pickpocket? I don't think I have the pickpocket skill.
And he says now, and then he also says on the radio, he says, "Can I also get a hospitality crew to the infirmary as soon as possible, please? Thank you."
And a couple more guns.
And he says, "Look, all of you guys, I don't know what happened here, but we're gonna get to the bottom of it. But some members of the crew are gonna come. They're gonna escort you to your quarters. And we need you guys to just hang tight. We've got a situation here. We're trying to get it under control, but we need you guys to hang tight. So as a result, I'm ordering you to do two things. One, say nothing to anyone about what happened here today, except for me and my crew. And two, to return to your cabins, and that my crew will handle the situation and make sure everything remains secure. Any one of you who leaks any information about what happened here will be tossed right into the brig until we return back to the States, at which point you'll be turned over."
Right.
Sir, I'm the editor of the Pinnacle Press, a newly formed newsletter, and may I quote you?
Look, when we get back to the States, we'll turn you over to the authorities for inciting a riot. So listen, I'm not joking around. All right, and so at this point, a bunch of people show up. So so 4 security guards, armed security guards, and then 6 kind of people dressed in like ship crewman uniforms, whose badges read hospitality.
Yeah.
But they're armed?
So the 4 security guys are armed, and
The hospitality guys, okay.
the hospitality guys are not armed. And so the security guy, the security folks escort you guys out of the infirmary, hand you over to the hospitality folks who encourage you to follow them to your staterooms.
Ian's gonna say, but sir, my wife is on the deck where we were eating at. She doesn't know what's going on. Could you someone go get her?
I'm sure she's fine. We've made a general announcement and asked.
I didn't hear that.
You wouldn't hear it down here. So crew members wear radios with earpieces so that we don't play we don't play ship announcements down here. So we made an announcement asking everybody to return to their staterooms. I'm sure she made it back to her stateroom safely. If you follow, the hospitality team here, they will lead you back to your stateroom and everything will be fine. And then once we've gotten to the bottom of this situation, we will come and get you guys, and you guys can give us some detail about what happened in this room. But in the meantime, it's not safe for you guys to be roaming the halls. We need you to get back to your staterooms.
Detective Sawyer does not agree with any of that. She's asking about what's going on with the woman who's been bitten and has apparently locked herself in the room up on deck 6.
How do you know about that?
I heard it over the intercom here in the
What intercom?
Well, we happen to know because
Michael's
we're able to monitor the systems of what's going on.
All right, so I need a couple of rolls. Okay,
Investigation?
So Detective Sawyer needs a persuasion, and then Michael needs a. Let's go with stealth to just make sure that the radio is well hidden. All right, so you guys are fortunate, So he seems to believe that maybe it was a radio, an open radio from one of his security team that you guys happen to overhear. He says, "Look, never mind, it's under control. My security team is the best on the ocean. We will take care of this situation."
I don't think so. All right.
Michael's just going to whisper to whoever's around, but this is how they cover it up. It's how they always do. I've heard this before. but it's going along with whatever happens.
Who's the one with the wife he was looking out for? Was that Michael too?
Ian?
Ian?
No, that's Ian.
Okay.
Yep. They're a retired couple.
So Kirkman says.
In separate staterooms.
Sorry. So Kirkman says to the detective, he says, "Look," he says, "You know, we don't have any of the details just yet." But we're responsible for your safety while you're on board the Pinnacle. We made a special concession to allow you to hold on to your gun. Please don't make us regret that decision. All right? Take your pistol, follow the hospitality team back to your staterooms, and we'll sort this all out here really quick. But in the meantime, I'm not really in a position at this point to give you additional information other than what I've already given you. We're trying to figure out what's going on.
Melissa speaks up and says, well, and she sort of indicates everything. You might not have a lot of details, but we do, and we can help.
I'm sure you can, but right now we have situations on multiple floors. Okay? Yes, and we have, had doctors on board previously until they turned out like this, right? And he kind of points around the room. He's like, this was our medical team. All right. Now here's what we'll do. I'll take your stateroom number. Okay. And if we have people that need aid, we'll come and get you. But for right now, I really need you guys to get back to your rooms.
Does it have a minibar?
All right.
Yes, your room has a minibar.
Done. I'll suffer for you.
I follow.
Where's Tommy going? What room's he in?
All right. So you guys are all.
Whole thing? So hang on. He's been behind the table. Can he try to hide while everyone else is sort of escorted out?
Go ahead and give me a stealth roll. Give me a stealth roll from Tommy.
See what we can do here. See what we can do with a D4. Oh, a race.
All right, yeah. So they don't even notice him. So they look at the rest of the group and they don't even notice Tommy. So how do you want to handle that?
Watch as the others get escorted out, and then I'm going to sort of try to tail Jason from behind. And if he goes behind some sort of locked door, I have some lock picks that might help me progress, and just try to get a follow him and get a better idea of what if they know something that we don't. They know something that more than he's letting on.
Okay, that's fine. So interestingly enough, you guys are all on the 6th deck as well, all of your respective staterooms, which is why you wound up at dinner at the same time as these other folks. And so you're brought to the 6th deck. And you notice when so it's got one of these stairways where there's 2 inside and then 2 outside and then 2 inside and 2 outside, right? And you're brought up to the 6th deck, and the aft doors, which are to the rear of the ship, are actually closed off, and there are security guards posted 2 on either side. And then the north doors are open. And there are people kind of hurriedly making their way to the north. It looks like we lost JT there for a second. I don't know what happened to JT.
He's a zombie! Shoot him! Shoot him! Immediately! Wait, did he have the gun?
No, I have the gun.
Oh, okay, shoot him.
So, there we go. We got him back.
Sorry.
Okay.
Hey.
It's all right. There you go, JT. You're back. So there are people hurriedly making their way towards the front of Deck 6 or the bow section, but all of your rooms are in the aft port side. Okay, so your port side aft 6 is the area that you're in, and so when you get up there with the hospitality team, the two security guards standing there in front of the door look at the hospitality folks, and they say, "We can't let you in there." And the kind of the head of the hospitality group says to them, "Kirkman sent us," and he goes, "Okay, but okay, whatever." And he opens the door, and they usher you guys in, and so they take you down. You wind up going down a hallway, and you're almost at the very aft of the ship, which is where your staterooms are. And so there's a series of doors, right and left, right? So there's a couple inside staterooms, there's a couple outside staterooms, and then at the end of the hallway, there are a couple of aft-facing staterooms. So these are like where rich people live, right? Or rich people stay, okay? So these are like the really big kind of suite size staterooms, right? The ones on the side are nice, but the ones in the back are just, they're just ridiculous. Anyway, so you guys all, your rooms are kind of on either sides of this hallway, and then you see down at the end of the hallway there are two security guards standing outside of one of the rooms at the very end of the hallway, and they're just kind of standing there, and every once in a while you hear as something hits up against the door, and these guys are kind of standing there like, "Ma'am, are you okay, ma'am?"
Your mic.
Yeah, I know.
wouldn't open that door.
There you go.
Yeah, no, I mean, I paused for effect.
That's okay.
I-
Oh.
If I say that, I'd be like, I don't think you should open up that door. Leave it shut.
Okay.
Maybe, I mean, if Melissa is there with them, and they wouldn't, stop her from doing it, she'd sort of go up to the door, like knock on it, be like, "Sweetie, are you okay in there?"
Okay. Well, so the hospitality team says, it's under control. Please, into your rooms, please. And you guys all kind of file into your rooms, and so at this point, any equipment that you have, you'll have access to. Anything that would have been realistic to bring aboard ship.
Like my shotgun.
Unrealistic.
Things like he's already got this.
My
scalpel.
sandals?
Yep, 100% with the sandal.
Anything like maybe a fire extinguisher or even like another axe or something like that. That could be cool. Anything and then the other thing he was thinking about is if there's a laundry room where he can go grab a uniform.
Carl grabs his life vest.
Okay. All right, that's cool. Anything else you guys want to grab? I'm going to go ahead and close this map here because we're not on that anymore. So anything else you want to grab?
Well, Carl's stats, the heavy wrenches, I think some are given at this point, but he may have had a folding knife and a folding utility knife. I guess that's a Swiss Army knife.
Yep.
Well, you look at my stats, it's in my inventory, it shows it's a folding utility knife, which actually
Sure.
can be thrown.
Yep.
Strength plus D4.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay. He keeps the club baton, but he grabs his folding knife, a utility folding knife for sure, if that's there. And what's the E? I don't know what that means. He's got a wrench that has E, but
Engaged.
anyway. Oh, okay. That might be
Equipped,
I know, right? I was
engaged.
sure,
It's a very, very special.
He really loves that wrench.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Bernice, just checking again, looking at. No, she's really got too much. She makes sure she picks up a spare clip that she has, the spare clip, and she has a silencer, and disposable gloves, and the camera cell phone. So she definitely takes the disposable gloves and the silencer and the spare clip.
Sounds just
Okay.
not going to do any good if she's already got that highness.
She's cool. What else is there? Anything in this room that otherwise this stands out as something that could be fashioned as a type of weapon? And again, any heavy object or
No,
okay,
no,
that's
nothing.
fine. Yes, I've been on lots of cruise ships.
Yeah, they're pretty small.
Yeah, I get it. And everything is nailed down because you're not taking it with you.
Yep,
So,
pretty much.
yeah, I got it.
Okay, so you guys all kind of collect your stuff.
Okay.
And just kind of as the chaos seems to have died down a bit, and anybody else, again, just take whatever from your inventory you want that makes sense. I mean, if you've got an M60, you probably didn't check that in your baggage.
I don't think I brought my wrench.
Yeah. So.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, so you guys, you guys hear a female scream. Primordial in its terror splits the air, even through the walls and corridors of the cabins. A few seconds pass, then the scream comes again, this time being cut off before it can end it on its own. A few seconds later, another scream, somewhat weaker, crying for help. You hear this in the corridor. So I'm going to go ahead and drop you guys now. Because there are so many characters, I'm just going to kind of drop you 2 to a room. Actually, no, I'm going to drop you 3 to a room. Just for the purpose of illustration. So let me just share the sheet here real quick, and then you guys can see that. So this is the hallway. So let me go ahead and drop you guys on the, get rid of him. Drop you guys on the map here. So I'll put you guys in, I'll put all 4, I'll put all of you in.
Not there.
What do you
Tommy's
mean?
not there.
Oh, Tommy's not there?
No, he's shelved away. That's
Where is Tommy right now?
Well, he was following Mr. Stripes over there, whatever his name was, I can't remember. That ordered us away. And just sort of following to see where he's going, to see if he can get more information about the situation. And then he was hoping to, along the way, if there's an extra uniform or a fire axe or any other sort of improvised weapon as well, he can take a look at. But if he goes by his cabin, he can grab his baseball bat. That's no problem.
Yeah. So basically, when Kirkman sends you sends the rest of the group with the hospitality team, he heads up towards the bridge. And he goes through a series of key carded doors. And so go ahead and give me a stealth check at a -2.
Okay.
Okay.
Just roll super well.
Yeah, so you're able to follow him up near the bridge. Now there's kind of a section adjacent to the bridge, which is basically the only area where you'd be able to find a decent place to kind of hide out and listen or observe what's going on with the bridge. But I'll just go ahead and pause Tommy for now, but we'll presume that he's in the vicinity of the bridge. The rest of you guys, here's basically how it plays out. You guys go all collect your stuff, but you make your way into one room, and you're just kind of, when you hear the scream, you're actually just talking about, you're talking amongst yourselves about, what the hell happened down there. And you hear this scream coming from the hallway.
Is there going to be a sound effect?
No, there's no sound effect. It's a literal scream. So the door up here is actually closed right now. Okay, so but you hear this scream in the hallway.
Melissa's going to run out and into the hallway and look out and see what's going on.
All right. When you crack the door, okay, you see. Let me just grab this for you. So you see a woman running down the hallway in the other direction, and on the other side of her you see two of these corpses approaching her from the south. And they're slowly gaining on her, but she's making her way. And then well, actually no, I'm sorry, she's right here, and then you see her and she ducks into this cabin and slams the door.
I duck back inside, and I yell to the others, "Oh my God, there's even more of them, whatever they are!" And she runs into the bathroom and slams the door shut.
Okay.
Leaving the other door open? Or?
No, slams it. Yeah, probably just forgets about it. The most important thing is the door right in front of her is closed, so she feels safer. And plus, those white wine spritzers are just going right through her.
I guess our characters here hear Dr. Melissa exclaim, "There's more of them," and obviously,
whatever they are, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a great term, and I agree with that. So and them meaning obviously, I would assume the danger because the way she ran. So detective skills. I'm trying to make an assessment here that she means more of those infected ones.
Let's come up with a name for them. Poof poofs.
That doesn't sound right.
Biters.
Biters. I actually like that.
Biters. All right.
It's a new word for a new thing that we just discovered.
Never been seen before.
Never been seen before, especially not on a boat.
She would like to go to the door, Detective Sawyer, go to the door and give a quicker and maybe a better quick check on this.
Sure.
Okay. And she cracks the door. The door, since it was open, she looks through and sees what she can see down the hallway, and she sees she's right. They're coming at us, and she goes to slam the door. I'm sorry.
Okay. So you close the door?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I get behind the door, obviously, because it opens that way.
Right.
If he does, right. That's police training. And Carl Lee, now that he's got the baton, and he comes over, he gets behind her, says, "Well, if it ain't more of them, I'll give him a good whack." And that's what they do. He's ready. And follows the detective.
All right.
All right, you hear them begin banging on the door. They presumably, like, you see your door start to shake, but you also hear banging kind of on the other side. These doors are not exactly the most sturdy. Anybody who's been on a cruise ship, No
wonder there's a discount.
Yeah, they seem to be made of like a very lightweight material. There's a kind of a metal surround around the door, but the middle of the door kind of flexes with each of the pounds, just like doof, doof, doof.
Okay. All right. I just informed. I saw two of them, but obviously, looks like this door is not going to hold up for long. I say that.
All right. And so you hear. So actually, let's see. So Detective William and
Sorry.
Carl. No, I know. I'm just calling out the names. Those three. Go ahead and give me notice rolls.
Yes, sir. You want a detective and
the detective, Michael and Carl. All notice. All right, you guys all hear it pretty much clear as day. You hear the door on. You hear a sound like the door on the opposite side busts open. You hear a scream, followed by a series of small arms shots.
Looks so.
And then the pounding on your door seems to go away.
Move to the opposite side. I go, I want to open up and check. You better be ready for anything. Get ready. And I look at Michael with the big
I'll
axe,
stand here to
and
bring the
Carl
axe down.
with his baton. And he
So that
kind
These
of,
people are just
yeah. We hear her crying, the doctor in the bathroom, and I see them, and I crack the door because obviously the pounding stopped, and I look
Right.
out. What do we see?
You see one zombie just like right through the door, and you think you
Biter,
see another
biter.
one. Oh, biter! Sorry, you see one biter right through the door, and then you think you see another, and you continue to hear gunshots. Small arms fire. Coming from across the hall. We're going to go ahead and move into initiative at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and just deal it out here. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
so let's see. Number one got a Joker, so that's going to be bad for you guys. So he's going to move. He's going to move.
or
So
Jack?
one. It's a Joker.
Oh, okay.
2, 3. He's going to move his speed, and then he's going to make an
Yes,
attack against something. You hear him try to. Okay, and he is unsuccessful. And then number 2, 1, 2, 3, and he's going to make an attack as well against something, and he's also going to miss. And then Dr. Wilhelm is up next. Sorry, you keep also hearing screams in that other room periodically.
Okay.
So you hear a woman scream, and then you hear a man's voice, but you're not exactly sure what the man is saying. He's not screaming as if he's scared. He almost as if he's kind of trying to give commands.
Okay.
And when you move there, hang on one second.
Yeah.
When you move there, there's another creature right there as well. So when you get in the room, the two that you saw before, but there's a third in there as well.
Well, he looks like he's dressed a little better at least. Wait, no, he doesn't.
All right.
I think I'm gonna see it and just run. Not have fun with that. So I'm gonna roll my pace die, right?
Yep.
There we go. 3.
So you can move 3 more squares.
1, 2, 3.
Okay. And Ian.
Ian is
Pretty quick for an old man.
well, he's going to run up, but he's not going to do much else. Be like, what is going on? Where is my wife? And that's really all he's doing. Michael, since the detective has the gun, will again delay his turn until after the detective moves.
Carl would like to do the same. He's waiting on the detective to obviously, lead with her feisty there pistol. And so he's just going to get behind her again. I got your back. After you, detective. And end his turn. And the moment everyone's been waiting for. Detective Sawyer. Again, make sure she's quick, looks ahead, and she heads over into that room at this point, and she sees the. She takes sense of what's going on, and she sees the three, I guess, trying, I guess, got the two people cornered at the other end of the room. Is that man with the bars who was the one who escorted us?
Yeah, he didn't escort you. He's the one who gave you to the.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
Escorted.
Kirkman. Is his name Kirkman? Jason Kirkman.
That's right. Detective remembers these names, so I'm just making sure icons are the same. So, she sees Kirkman, and she goes to fire at the creature in front of the woman.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Can you give me a number on him? And I'll target that one. Do you have a number, sir?
He's number 1, so he doesn't have a number. So.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yes, sir. Living dead general. Okay, I got it.
Yep.
Attack target. Okay, I got him targeted. Let me go over and get her gun. You roll that bad boy and hopefully do good.
All right, that's it.
Okay, we hit. Now we're gonna roll for damage. Unarmed. And
Yeah. So.
no problem.
So go ahead and explain it. I mean, you feel like you
Fires.
hit him.
Yeah.
But it seems to have no effect.
Right, I was just saying, the bullet again hits the body. I mean, because she hit, but obviously didn't hit an effect. And it didn't seem to hit in a vital area for these creature. It should have. It should have actually taken this creature down. Any normal man or woman hitting this place would have been knocked over. And certainly pain. This creature almost doesn't even flinch. You just see the body just sort of like a little jerk a little bit, just as from the force of the bullet, but almost seemed to not even phase it, and it seems intent on obviously wanting to attack. With that, if she has another bit of move, I'd like to move back, and that will end her turn.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Done.
All right, Tommy is not here, so
Not there.
the female passenger is going to try to get away. She's going to try to run behind the bed, but this creature is going to attack her.
Wait a minute, sir. Since I went and there's two characters that were waiting for my reaction who passed over, would they be able to make their move?
Yeah, no, that's fine. Sure.
Actually, let's go back to you, JT, because your character had first shot on the waiting.
1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? He's just gonna back up to right there.
Okay. And Carl's not as able to move on the high distance, so I'm not sure how much the lame is. He's going to at least get to the edge of the door here, and at least get that far. And he's got the baton ready and the knife in the other hand. He sees that creature. I don't know where the door. I'm just going to assume it's open. From that vantage, I'd like to bring him in the room. Would he be able to make it from that square in the corner over to there with his lameness?
Would he? How many spaces has he moved already? What is his pace?
He was over here 6 actually for a lame guy. I'm kind of surprised. Yeah, let me verify that. Pace is 6.
He can get there.
Oh, I'm not going to go that far. I'm going to put him right in the door there, in front of the detective, and he's going to throw that knife, which is a throwing knife. It does have range. Let me get back. No, wait, I'm looking at the wrong character. I'm looking at the Glock. Here we go. Yeah, he has thrown 6, 12, 3, 6, 12.
Okay. So it's probably going to be medium distance because
That's a
you're
6.
1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 away.
Okay. Throws the folding utility knife at that creature by going for the woman. And I'm going to I'm going to target him. There, number 1. Doesn't look like it targeted him. Did I get that? It's not his turn. I'm sorry. Can we...
All right, yeah. Who is it? Carl?
Carl Lee. Carl Lee. Ah, there we go. Okay. Let me. I'm trying to get it targeted. All right, I'll just do that. That seems to work when I target the token. All right. So with that, he's going to throw the folding knife. Come on, blink. I can't believe it.
All right, that's a hit.
All right, and then I'll roll for damage.
All right, yeah. So so go ahead and describe it. You've got this utility knife, and you chuck it at this creature. And what happens?
It actually hits him just in the base of the neck, right below the skull, right there, and it definitely hit him right there, right at the base of the skull.
All right, yeah, that's enough to take that guy out. So, and who else was
That's
still
the end.
holding?
That ends Carl's turn. Oh,
Okay.
Michael. Well, no, Michael went in, so that was it
Michael
for the
went.
2 hydros. Yeah, we're back to the.
We're good.
Yeah, we're good, sir.
All right, so we're back to the female passenger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so now she's going to try to duck behind Kirkman, and she just kind of falls to the ground. She's really got nothing she can do, but she's going to need to make an agility roll. And she does it fine. So she dives behind the bed and behind Kirkman, escaping that zombie. And so this guy is going to move to here, and he's going to target Kirkman, and he's going to try to bite Kirkman, and he is going to miss. Kirkman is in turn going to take 2 shots. He's going to take a shot at each of them, so he's going to have a -2 multi-action penalty to each of his shots. So he's going to target this guy and this guy. So here is his here's his 2 shots. Okay, so he's gonna hit both. One with a raise. So let me go ahead and roll the raise damage for the first guy. I'm gonna uncheck that guy. So here's the raise damage. Kirkman. Okay, here we go. Okay, so he destroys that one guy. So he destroys the living dead shambler in front of him, or the living dead guy in front of him. And then let me roll his damage for the second attack. Oh, hold on, I gotta target him. And then let me go ahead and roll his damage. I apologize. Here we go. All right, yeah, he crushes both of them. Okay, so that he takes out both of them, and to you guys, it's a pretty impressive display. Like, he shoots one guy and then quickly pivots and shoots the other guy. Just double headshots, boom, boom, right, and they both fall down. And he looks over at you and he says, "What the fuck are you guys doing here? Go back to your staterooms."
Wow, a guy with your talent shouldn't be working on a cruise ship. Did you get a DUI in high school or something like that?
Carl.
I mean, you're good.
Carl Lee.
You shouldn't be on a cruise ship. That was impressive.
Let's just say I served before. I was trying to, after I retired from the military, I wanted something relaxing. Clearly, this is not relaxing.
You're a fool for going on a luxury cruise ship on a maiden voyage. You know how those end.
So Carl, who threw that knife and killed that one, he says, "Listen, you need our help. I helped save your guys' lives." So why don't you have a little calm down? You obviously got a bigger problem here than you can handle. I'm a detective here. She's a smart lady, and she can help you.
Yeah, no, and he's clearly flustered, right? He doesn't know, like, he's very confused. He's like, what the fuck is going on? He's like, all right, I agree. Yes, you guys can be helpful, and at this point, we could use all the help we can get. My guys are dropping like flies. Every time I turn around, there's, there's chaos on the radio. He says, look, I'll bring you down to the security room. And it's down on a lower deck, and we can regroup there and see if we can figure out what the hell's going on now. But I would expect at this point, everybody who's left is making their way down to security. So let's get going before any more of these creatures come back. So he grabs the female crew member. He says, "Come on, let's go." And do you guys, any of you guys, disagree or object?
Well, Ian
yeah, I'm still missing my wife. They said they'd be here, but she's not. Obviously, it'd be coming all the way back. But and where's my wife? He's going to be starting to get a little hysterical about this if he doesn't see her soon. And Michael's going to just shrug, I guess.
Well, the detective looks at him and goes, "How many people you've got down in security to this ship?"
So we had 26 officers. Your guess is as good as mine, however many are left.
How far away is it from here to security?
Sorry, he says it's just down the end of this hallway. It's quick. He says I've told the remaining security officers to set up a safe zone for passengers. So sir, most likely your wife is there if she's been evacuated from one of her, from this area. So down in the grand ballroom, we've set up a kind of a safe zone. And we've locked all the doors so that none of these things get in. He says, but let's get down to the security office and see if we can figure out what's going on. So he leads them here. Sorry, not them. He leads you to through a series of locked doors. And when you get to the locked door, this is where Tommy mistakenly thought he was headed towards the bridge. But there's like a secure or a storage room. And Tommy is like ducked down in between the racks of so there's supplies, there's canned foods, and a bunch of other stuff. This is kind of like the Alamo, more or less, on the ship, right? This is where the security office is. And so as you guys come down, Tommy sees the group being led by Jason Kirkman. Does Tommy rejoin the group at this point?
Yeah, stealthily.
All right, so Tommy
Grabbing some cans of food.
So Tommy here, so while Tommy was hunkered down, Tommy heard a bunch of different radio calls come over the radio. Deck 5. We've got multiple assaults. Assault with deadly weapon. It's just a bunch of different calls get reported. And then in addition to that, you've also heard, what seems like maybe a dozen of the security officers either reported in as missing or deceased. So, all right.
This
So
ain't looking good.
yeah. So Kirkman leads you guys into the security room, and like I said, there's a couple of like badged entry doors that you have to go through. And he walks in. He walks in, and you see like there are dozens of monitors that show images of all different areas of the ship, and you see if quick scan of the monitors, you'll see what'll look like a passenger, and then like just a group of these things chasing after it, and there's people jumping overboard. There's the main dining room, you can see it, and there are hundreds of people in the main dining room who have they've kind of set up barricades around the outside, and these people are all kind of there together. The little stage area is set as like a talking area, right? So there are a couple of members of the hospitality team there just trying to like calm everybody down. They're handing out drinks. It's interesting because like you see, they're actively serving food and drinks like nothing is going on in that little area. But clearly all the doors have been barricaded. So go ahead.
Oh, do we ask for Ian and comes over? Okay, Ian, do you see your wife?
Darlene!
On the camera in there, that's what we're looking at.
Go ahead and give me a notice roll.
From Ian?
From Ian, yeah.
Well, Ian's definitely looking.
He
has bad eyes, though.
Yeah, and the camera resolution is kind of low, so
it's that low bandwidth.
You see about 6 different people that could potentially be his wife, but
I gotta get to her. She's still there, right? I see her. I think.
So,
no, there she is.
Oh well, I turned to Jason, and I says, "Is there any way we can get to them people? What's between us and them?"
He says, "Look, so I'm a little confused, right? The way I see it, there's a couple of things, right? So this guy who collapsed, right? You guys were the last ones to talk to him before he collapsed, right? I mean, how do I know that you guys aren't in on this, or this doesn't have anything to do with you guys? I mean, I'm
in on what?
Whatever this thing
what
is
that you got. What are you hiding here on this ship?
If there's one thing that I know from medicine, it's that words cause heart attacks. And that's all we did to him. We just talked to him, and then he had a heart attack. How could you possibly blame us for that?
It's the government, I tell you.
That's
You find out who they are on here, and you'll find out who's responsible.
And the patriarchy in the government.
Who was this man? Do you have a record or any information on this passenger and his wife?
Yeah, Billy Haynes. I mean, that's all we've got. He was some, oil and cattle maverick from Texas. But
Texas.
here's
it was Big
that
Solar
figures.
trying to.
Sorry, go ahead, Megan.
I was gonna say, so basically he's. What I'm going to need is, this is going to be a dramatic task, okay? So what I'm going to need is I'm going to need some success to persuade him to, give up his suspicion of you guys and any participation you may have in this, and then B, potentially however, how you succeed or fail would determine kind of what, what additional information he'll share with you at this point. So basically, here's how it can go down. So of your group, I mean, I see the detective as being kind of, a vocal point. If there's anybody else who would want to be a vocal point, I'll give you a +1 for anyone who has the persuasion skill to the roll.
Anyone else but me, because I have persuasion.
I do have
No, I am mean, and so people don't typically like me.
Melissa
I'm
has
consumed by anger at the government.
So,
also
so which
stubborn, so-
which of you have persuasion?
I do.
Okay, so that's 1. That's 2. Any of the other characters have persuasion?
Let me check. No, Carl don't. No, does not. So, one of my 2 characters. Detective
Okay,
Sawyer.
so you'll get a +2 to your persuasion roll. So go ahead and give me a persuasion roll from whoever has the better persuasion.
How do I get a +2, sir? I've got the
You just
+1.
down in the modifier in the lower left, the biohazard
sir.
symbol, just put a 2 in there.
Oh, thank you.
What do you have?
+2, done.
No,
I have a
what size?
6.
Okay, die.
Go ahead.
D6.
Yep, that's sorry, Greg. I have a 6.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, so that's 1 success. So you're going to have 5 rolls to get 3 successes.
All right.
Go on with the +2,
Roll it
sir.
next.
Yes.
Oh,
Can I roll? Can we split the rolls?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. I'll roll next, then you roll.
okay.
And depending
Let's
on
share that
if I
persuasion.
suck, then you can take my roll next round.
Yeah.
It's your persuasion.
Oh, this is good. odds.
Okay. All right. No. Hold on. So that's a critical failure. So that counts as 2 failures. Okay. Which means that you're only going to have you have 2 more dice or 2 more rolls that you have to succeed on.
So I couldn't possibly roll 2 more once.
Can you Benny that?
Yes, he could. Yes, absolutely. It's a skill check.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh man.
I got it.
+2. Oh man. Persuasion.
Okay, so that's 2 successes out of 2 rolls. So you have 3 rolls remaining.
I'll
0 failures.
try a persuasion on the next.
Nice.
Okay, so that's 3 of 5 successes. Now, at this point, he is going to transition to friendly.
All right.
However, he is not. You have 2 more rolls. Okay.
Mhm.
If you make your 2 more rolls, okay, he will provide you with some additional information. Well, so depending on how successful you are in your remaining 2 rolls, will determine how much additional information he's willing to share.
And Melissa,
I will.
I'm just letting you know I've got a few more of the bees
do
in my
I.
pocket.
So do I. Kind of
Okay.
wish Tommy was
Okay.
doing this. He's got 5 and hasn't been able to use one yet because he's
That's
rocked
true.
every freaking roll that he's.
Yeah, he's our ninja.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one more success.
Go for it, man.
Yes, Captain. We got that persuasion.
All right, so 5 out of 5. Good job, you guys. Only cost Benny. So
Cough it up there,
here's
Jason.
what he's gonna do. He's gonna say, you know what? You're right. I mean, this is too weird. There's nothing. I mean, I apologize. I didn't mean to infer that you guys had anything to do with that. As a matter of fact, you've been nothing but helpful, right? So, which of you know how to shoot?
Oh, I do, and I show him my gun.
Yeah, I know you do. Who else has the shooting skill?
Carl can shoot fairly well, as good as the detective apparently. Man had a
Anybody
rough
else?
upbringing.
Yeah, so both, Michael and Ian, being a park ranger, both of them could shoot D6s apiece.
Can Melissa try to bluff her way into a gun and be like, "Oh yeah, I went to the shooting range all the time in college."
Yeah, give me a deception roll.
Oh dear, that's unskilled. So close. I'm not gonna waste a penny on that. That was just a goof. And I don't know that Tommy doesn't have shooting either. But
He looks at you. He says, "I'm sorry, but it's just too dangerous to put a weapon in the hands of somebody who's untrained at this point." But he reaches into his drawer and he pulls out 3 Glock 9mm, and I put them in the party sheet.
Carl.
And he says, "For those of you that have been trained, here you go." And then
The party sheet. Where is that thing?
And then
I've already got one in my inventory, so you can delete one.
So, and then I've put 3. So that's 20 rounds. So it's a total of 60 rounds. So he puts up 3 boxes of ammunition with the 3 Glocks. And they have holsters and everything. So, so he basically takes them out. He puts them on the desk. He puts up 3 boxes of ammo. Now, for the rest of you, what can I give you to help protect yourselves?
I have a question. Where's this list thing?
It's the party sheet. Up at the upper right-hand corner, it says group.
Yeah, main order.
It's on the inventory tab.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, so go ahead and grab those for anybody who needs them. So what about the rest of you?
Scalpel, but do you have an actual, real knife?
Yeah, I have a combat knife.
Okay.
Okay.
And he gives his scalpel to Melissa. Takes the knife.
Sir, I'm kind of drawing a blank here. I think I dropped it on Carl, and I don't see in the weapons on my inventory the Glock 9mm, but I do see it subtracted 1, or maybe...
No, that was mine.
Okay. It's not going there. Am I doing something wrong? It's not under mundane. Got billy club, folding knife, and heavy wrench.
Got to drag it by the red biohazard symbol.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. And bullets. 3 bullets or 3? That's a clip.
It's 20. It's a 20 round box. So so if I go to so I'll just drag that into your mundane, and then it would be 20 bullets in the box.
My detective's got her spare clip, so she gets 17 in that. Does anyone else need bullets?
Everybody who takes a gun is going to need bullets. So there were 3 guns, 3 packs of bullets. So if you didn't take bullets, then take bullets, or else you won't. You'll just have an empty gun.
Is there any body armor or, vests or whatever around that we could take? Spacesuits give some armor.
Spacesuits, yeah. There are Kevlar vests. So he's got some Kevlar vests. So here we go. So he's gonna drop 6 Kevlar vests.
Melissa's really gonna need one.
So go ahead and take one of those as well. Make sure you equip it, otherwise it won't give you the armor penalty or the armor benefit.
So are there things
there's still 1 Glock and 40 bullets in the party sheet. So if you took a pistol and you did not take bullets, please go take bullets. If you did not take a pistol, please go take a pistol and bullets.
Does anybody?
I've had my original Glock, so maybe by saying I had fighting, you gave a gun up, so that may not have been necessary, because when you had fighting, my detective was already armed with that, so you probably...
Okay, all right,
so
I'll
explain that extra one.
All right, I'll get rid of it. I got rid of it.
Yep. And,
everybody, make sure you got your Kevlar vests as well, please.
And equipped.
There are still 2 in there that are not taken and equipped.
Carl and Detective Sawyer both have them. Yep.
Yeah, I did not do that with
Okay, so so basically, as you guys are kind of gearing up, you notice the silver-haired man and the captain kind of walk into this area. And the silver-haired man walks directly past you guys and walks up to Kirkman, and he's got just an angry kind of scowl on his face, and he says, "I understand you've requested Captain Ramiro contact the Coast Guard." And Kirkman replies, "That's right. Whatever's happening on this ship, it's putting everyone in serious danger." "I see," says Mr. Farthington. "Well, I've instructed the captain to deny your request." And Kirkman kind of kicks his feet out, and he says, "You did what?" Farthington replies, "Whatever is happening, I expect you and your men to handle it and contain the situation. There's absolutely no need to alert the Coast Guard." Kirkman says, "Are you out of your mind? We have crew dead, passengers dying. I don't even know what the hell is happening to the dead. Never mind," and Farthington interrupts him. "And I've approved you to the position you maintain for a reason, Mr. Kirkman. I expect the situation handled from within. The last thing we need is the Coast Guard involved." Kirkman says, "You're right. That's the first thing we need." And Farthington steps back and smiles, an expression that's predatory. "Mr. Kirkman, the Pinnacle is my pleasure ship. Do you understand that? Mine. You, Captain Romero, all the way down to the assistant chef, work for me, and I've entirely too much invested in this enterprise to watch it all go to hell on the maiden voyage. I expect the situation to be dealt with and contained, and I expect it to be done within the next 24 hours, or I will hire someone who can. Have I made myself clear?"
Shoot him.
And Kirkman replies, "You have no idea what..." And Mr. Farthington interrupts him. "Have I made myself clear?" Kirkman stares at him, and his anger is barely contained. "Yes, you have." Mr. Farthington replies, "Good." He turns to you. "I apologize for recent events. Please, enjoy the rest of your crew." Wait, what? You've armed them? You've armed passengers?
I have a
Feel
question.
free to try.
Let me know when I can step in as a detective.
She takes out a notebook and a pencil, and she says, "What would you tell the press when they asked you why you put people's lives in danger for your own ego?"
And he kind of looks at you, and he puts his hand up, and he says, "No comment!" And he walks away quickly.
He's endangering the welfare of others.
To have blood on your hands?
He's an immediate threat as in a danger to others. If he allows this to continue on, I think we can put him in arms.
So he like, you know, bolts out, right? And the captain is kind of on his heels, you know, following behind him, and Kirkman just kind of stands there with his, you know, with his face in his hands, and he says, "All right, that asshole's gonna get everyone killed. I really don't know if you people, well, no, we already alleviated that you don't have anything to do with this. You've seen these things. You've come into contact with them. Effective immediately, I want all of you to work closely with me and my men. We need to contain this. Regardless of that idiot's reason, whatever's happening, if it spreads too far, we could be looking at close to 3,000 of those things in a seriously confined space." He says, let's figure out how we take this ship back. And he says to you, "Any ideas?"
Well,
I say we still get him. Oh, sorry. Good.
no, go ahead, JT.
Michael, being the former head of the militia, was like, "Well, first thing we need to do is still get that call out. I don't know if we can trust the Coast Guard, but you know they're not, you know, they're big government, so maybe we can. But we need to make a safe zone so we can work out of the safe zone, and then expand out to try to save people that we can. And we need to figure out exactly what's going on."
Yeah, we need to get as much information as we can. So if we could see some of the bodies, that would probably help. But I really think that you should put your paranoia aside, and we should involve the government because they can help.
They could help mess it up. You're on your own.
All right, so
We just don't know it yet.
yeah, so with that, Kirkman's radio suddenly squawks, and it's loud enough for you guys all to hear it. As a panicked security officer on the other end reports a breach in the medical suite. The things inside have gotten loose, and there are numerous casualties. Kirkman's eyes go wide as he stares in disbelief at you guys. He had told his men to secure that door until they could figure out what to do with the bodies. The transmission is cut off just as the officer on the other end screams. Kirkman says, he says, "This way, quickly." And he kind of it's just down the hall from this security area, he leads you down the corridor to the medical area, and as you enter the corridor, you see blood everywhere. And in the distance, from another corridor, you hear screams of pain and terror. As you turn the corner, the source of the screams assails you. Over a dozen passengers attempt to push through each other, step on one another, and do anything they can to get themselves to safety, as three of the things grab and bite onto them, ripping huge chunks of flesh with their teeth and spraying the walls with red blood. Two of the creatures are the rest of the medical staff, while the third looks to be what was once a passenger, with his neck and chest ripped open. Your breath stops as the sudden weight of the situation slams into your chest. Kirkman's worst fears of an outbreak have begun to come true. Over 3,000 people on a confined cruise ship, and hell has come to Earth. And that's where we're going to pick up next time. So,
Nice.
We did fairly well in surviving.
yeah, I fully expected a couple of
Except
casualties.
my wife, Darlene.
Well,
Yeah.
she's
Well,
He had some pretty good roles,
yeah.
situations.
No Benny
So-
Jews for most parts. I'd say
Yeah.
we did fairly well for a bunch of people on a cruise to someplace down in the Bahamas. Right, we're going to Bahamas. It was a Bermuda.
Yep.
And
So-
I must say it was good.
So here's the situation, right? I mean, what I would see is we keep this kind of as as an option. If people can't make it or whatever, we continue on this campaign. We do this, but with that, I guess I'd like to hear from you guys real quick. I mean, we're still live. I want to make sure that we give the audience an opportunity to weigh in on their thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Kind of leaving on a bit of a cliffhanger. But anybody who would like to see more of this, please feel free to, comment below, post in the chat, reach out on Discord. If you haven't already, please, follow, subscribe if you feel like subscribing. Otherwise, I will check for comments and whatever, but really enjoy this setting. I think it's a lot of fun, and we got plenty of room to go on this one. So hopefully we'll get to pick it up down the road a little bit. So what about you guys, players? Actually, let me kick back to the chat, because we've stepped out of the game at this point. So guys, I'd love to hear from you. I mean, what did you think?
It's a good setting. I like the ship. It's not like you can disappear, go anywhere. It's a play field, and there's a couple situations going on. We've got an elderly a man separated from his wife. There's that's a bit of a dramatic thing. I'm concerned, even as in any shape. That's something that would be, have me like, oh no, right? That's endearing, right? The fact that we have an owner of the ship who is careless and pretty much a self-serving, and he reminds me of like Dr. On Lost in Space, right? Dr. Smith, always the conniver. So I think there's a good difference of balance of some concern, human emotion there. The risk is that any moment you're going to be overwhelmed in numbers, so there's a sense of dread for me on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Because this could go swinging, because they keep picking up numbers, and we're just barely able. We're lucky we've got what we got, but that's going to be about it.
Yeah, you're lucky, and nobody really took any injuries, thus far. I mean, it's any one of those creatures could have definitely made it not be that great of a day for you guys. So with that, I just want to just a quick shout out to everybody who's been watching. Thank you guys, really appreciate it. Please tell your friends, let them know we're here. So typically we play a sci-fi game for those of you joining us for the first time, but we will be coming back to this. So really appreciate it, guys, and we will see you guys all next week. Thank you, and goodbye from the Gamma Quadrant.